Well, the third part of the assessment is just like we talked about that
Mm-hmm.
what you've done in the past and where
Yes.
you rank as far as your skill set. And like I said, just going when you look at the third part of the actual workshop, this team debrief or kind of it's almost like a team x-ray. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
really breaks down all these behavioral factors, outlines potential areas for conflict. I mean, you really, I mean, it's all there on the board. You know where your team's at, where they're similar, where they're different, why they do what they do, the different skills, and but it's neat to figure the commonalities amongst them. I said,
Yes.
see where the common threads are, see where the potentials for conflict, and sometimes you realize, wow, now I get why our team isn't performing as well as it could be because of when you break down the different behavioral traits on a graph, you can really see them. It
Yes.
makes a big difference. I wanted to show a quick example. Say you had a particular team that
Mm-hmm.
was not performing what you're like, why aren't we getting things done? Why
Mm-hmm.
aren't they, why are things not getting done how they're supposed to be getting done in the time frame they're getting done?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, what gives? Well, what I'm going to pull up behind me is a quick example of the graph of all the behavioral traits for a particular team.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you're looking at these, okay, they're great, they're consistent, they follow policy, they're people oriented, they're persistent. Okay, we got some great top behavioral characteristics, kind of middle of the road with the customer or as the team average. You have
Mm-hmm.
people that are really high in things, really low in things. But then when you get to the bottom as a team, as the average, if
Mm-hmm.
something like competitive, especially sense of urgency, is at the bottom of the list,
Mm.
well, if your team as a whole doesn't have a sense of urgency, you wonder why things aren't getting done
Oh,
as
yeah.
fast as you need them to get done. I mean, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm good, man. Pay's good, love the place, things are great. And the CEO, you're like, hey, we've got to get some stuff done. We've got to make some changes here. We've got to get things taken care of. And if you're not in that position, your team doesn't feel that same sense of urgency. You can discover it there. And you're like, oh, okay, now I understand why the one
Mm-hmm.
person that's really high in urgency, they're the ones that are constantly driving the ship, it seems like.
Right.
And we're kind of pulling everybody else along. And you can tell those potential areas for conflict where some people are just completely different in certain categories. It's very, very, very eye opening.
It's a powerful tool. When we have that type of a spreadsheet that we could put out on each company's team that we're working with, it just opens up all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, and the biggest thing you're looking at is you're trying to break down all the behavioral factors, like kind of like
Mm-hmm.
I outlined there. Your
Mm-hmm.
potential areas for conflict, who
Mm-hmm.
on your team similar and different in the how and the why they do what they do. But
Right.
the data is cool and that's fine. I mean, it's nice to have data. It's like a G
Mm-hmm.
whiz. Now what? So
Mm-hmm.
what? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The so what is this? The ultimate goal is to really learn how to appreciate the differences of the others on your team, not just tolerate them, and to be able to really adapt your behavior and of course this to everybody on the team to
Mm-hmm.
create that superior performance
Mm-hmm.
because
Exactly.
you're gonna communicate better, you're gonna have stronger leadership, you're gonna have better engagement, and you're not gonna have a lot of the, let's say, the HR problems that you potentially could have where people just human nature misunderstand people and come across in a way they don't intend to,
And
not even
and
realizing it.
Dave, and it comes back to the bottom line again. When we get all these things in alignment, it is going to have a positive impact on a company's profitability.
Absolutely, and that's why we call it critical alignment because it is critical to get these things in that type of alignment so your board, your leadership team can function like it
Yes.
needs to. And it's
Yes.
not, it's magic bullet, no, it's a cure all, no. But you know what? If you don't have these things in place, it makes it very, very difficult to perform at your best.
That's right.
This is just creating the environment to help that
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yep.
So how about some final thoughts for our listeners before we go?
Well, I think one of the keys is that there are tools out there that are available. Dave and I do handle them that'll allow you to have that kind of overview of your organization, the individuals within your organization, and to consider looking at something like that because it could be a tool that could really move your company up several levels in its performance and its the ability to tap the potential of your people.
Yeah, I mean, to really take a data driven approach where, I mean, you have some good, solid conceptual uh, training, some great team building. I mean, some great ideas, but when you got the data behind it
Mm,
that's valid and reliable that you can take to the bank, and you're like, okay, this I can hang my hat on. This is good data, and we can use this to help improve our team. That's
Mhm.
pretty powerful stuff. And so one of the things I wanted to throw out there is
Mhm.
if any of the folks that are listening would be interested in a complimentary sample of one of the assessment suite that we use for this workshop, just contact either Tom or I. We'd be more than happy to set you up with that and get that over to you. So just shoot us a quick email. We'd be more than happy and just reference the episode and just say that, hey, I'm looking to get a complimentary sample of the assessment suite that you guys use for the critical alignment workshop, and we'd be more than happy to get that over to you.
You bet.
So anything as we leave our as we conclude the episode and um, go about our business for the day?
Well, just one thing is that the biggest room in the world is a room for self-improvement. So let's get going.
Yep. Learn about yourself, learn about your team, and like I said, try to and make the best of um, the performance that you can, and try to make your team and your board as effective, as efficient, and working as well together as humanly possible. So anyway, thanks
Yes.
again for joining us on Business Smarts Radio, where Tom and Dr. Dave will be bringing you the clean approach to building your successful business. And we will see you all next episode. Take care.